Okay, listen. Green Lantern is not that bad of a movie. I don't know if I'm making this up in my head, if I've just Mandela'd myself or something, but, like, I just watched the movie. And from what I can remember, everyone else in the entire world had the opinion that the movie was ass. The movie was garbage. Worst superhero movie of all time. It was so bad, in fact, in Deadpool, he went back in time and shot Ryan Reynolds from doing the movie. So, apparently a big meme, movie was bad, whatever. I just watched it. It was nothing like that. What the fuck do you mean? Like, I get the story's abysmal. Like it's I can't really remember a lot about the story wise, and I guess that goes to show something for the movie, because obviously if I cannot remember the story of the movie, there's a problem with the movie. The pacing is abysmal. It keeps like it just goes where it wants to go. It feels, without like showing you how it got there. And again, I get it. That makes that, but it's bad. But it doesn't make it a bad movie. Like it's not a bad superhero movie by all means of the word. Like, what do you define a superhero movie as? Is the real question. And I define that as a superhero movie. A lot of weird alien species. One guy gets superpowers and then he has to grow into it or whatever. And he's got to go in a little quick training montage. And he saves the first people he saves are the girl of his dreams or whatever. And he's actually kind of an asshole, but he's learned to not be an asshole later down the line and shit. And then he grows into his power and defeats the big bad evil guy. That's a superhero movie. And that's what the fucking movie did. Like, it didn't look bad at all either. Like, the effects were pretty fucking good. The fighting was sometimes. Like, it had all the people that I know from the Green Lantern comics. I've never read them. So if the big reason people disliked the movie was because the fact that it didn't match the comics, fair game. I never read the comics, so I couldn't tell you. But from what I can tell, the movie was great. Like, the suit looked dope as fuck. I want that suit. The ring was cool as hell. I really hope to let Ryan Reynolds keep that ring. The ring was fucking awesome. So, like, I don't see what people were complaining about. Sinestro, I know, is a big villain, and he got his end cutscene because they were planning to have a sequel. Well, turns out that didn't fucking happen. But I don't even think Ryan Reynolds wanted to do the movie, now that I'm remembering it correctly. But like, besides all that, I don't want to talk about that. My thing is the reasons I like the movie. Okay, the reason I think is bad. The fighting was pretty cool. The motivation was there. The character arc was pretty good for Hal, actually. He did start off being this really big asshole, and he was like a cynical asshole that everybody knows and loves nowadays. And then he went from being this cynical asshole to getting this ring to saving this dude, and then he plays around with the ring for a minute, and then it gives him the power, and he just starts to help people. It's pretty basic, and it's pretty non-sensual or whatever, and there's not really much to show him grow into it. But, he went and helped the alien dude. He didn't have to do that. And it's not the change of his character for him to see this weird alien creature and run and not help him. From what it seemed, he may be a cynical asshole, but he's one of those cynical assholes who care about people, which is why he went and saved this fucking weird alien thing that he just saw. So, the character arc is there. Like, it makes sense for a Green Lantern. Maybe in the comics, again, Green Lantern was never an asshole, but that doesn't matter. This is a movie. Like, this is not the comics. This is just a fucking movie. A pretty good one at that point. Like, I don't want to rewatch the movie. It's not a movie that I'm planning on going back to a million times and like showing my friends or whatever. It's a pretty good bad movie. May I put it that way. It's a good bad movie, and it's got some good aspects to it. It's not totally horrible like everybody was talking about all the time. Like, people were like raving that this was the worst. And again, I don't know if I'm remembering this wrong or something else, but like, from what I can remember, people were talking about this is the worst fucking movie ever of all time. So, but like, the effects were really great. I wish they showed more of the lantern thing. It did make not a lot of sense how he kind of went from he was on the planet, and then he went from being like, oh, I can't do it, I give up, to then building a whole racetrack. That is a bit of a stretch. Give it there. And the whole enemy, as I'm remembering things about the movie now, I'm starting to realize that it was really just a bad movie. It really is just a good bad movie. But the villain, Horton, I can't remember names that well, but he was pretty basic, you know. He did an alien thing. His motivation was the fact that people just disliked him because he was a freak or weird, because he was just super smart and he never got the credit. Which, to be fair, I mean, pretty relatable, pretty like, I mean, honestly, for like that kind of shit, especially if he's a government, his dad works in the government, and like, you know, shit like that. But pretty basic, and there really wasn't much there. Wasn't much substance. There wasn't much, you know. I wasn't afraid of that guy. Now, Parallax, if that's his name, I kept thinking of Parthenex from Skyrim, the big fucking dragon, which honestly kind of makes sense. Parallax just like shows up to Earth instead of going to Osa, which honestly would have been way cooler to see all the Green Lantern Force fighting back against Parallax instead of him going to Earth for what? Because Hal was there, the one lantern, but everyone else was, you know, big ups to him for, you know, having a grudge. But like, if I was Parallax, I still would. If I had the power to defeat Ursa, I guess he was going there to get the power because he was sucking him up. But still, he was pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie. His look was pretty dope. Like the way he was designed. His design was pretty cool looking. He could go in and out of himself like a giant smoke cloud, which didn't make any sense when this bitch fired rockets at him and he blew up and took damage. I mean, come on, bro. Also, if the dude could do anything with his mind, why was he even after the ring? Like, why did you even fall for that, you dipshit? I'm talking about the other guy, Horton Hears a Who, or whatever. Had the big way, spoiler alert, for anyone who's actually watching this, the big way that Green Lantern defeats the first big bad in this is because he gives him the ring. He's like, you want to be what I am? Take the ring. And the guy does it. But I don't get that, because he could already do everything with his mind. He already had a shit ton of power. Why was the ring necessary for you? You didn't even know what it could do or give a shit. And then to further, the ring shouldn't have even worked. He shouldn't have even been able to do anything. Because even Hal Jordan says himself, like 2 minutes later, I was lying. You had to be chosen. So it shouldn't even have worked anyway. But it was pretty funny. The way he started fighting Parallax in the thing after he got the ring was pretty cool. That fight scene was pretty epic. The Parallax's death, pretty fucking epic. It was a callback to the training with Gorlog, the purple alien dude. It was back to him. You know, he's like, you're too big. The bigger you are, the faster you burn. And Hal, like, figuring out how to stop the gravitational pull of the sun, which he never actually did because he couldn't grapple anything. But I guess he figured it out. And then he called his jets down, which is another callback to the, you know, he was a pilot, so he's piloting jets. Good callback again to that. And then he burns him. And it's pretty fucking satisfying. And it's, you know, he tried to shoot his lasers, but as the fear lasers come out of Parallax's mouth, they burn back because they're not stronger than the sun. Again, doesn't make sense. This, like, being of ultimate power got stopped by the sun. But I guess go gravity. If you ever seen Interstellar, go gravity. Give it up for gravity. The reason we fucking sit here, apparently you can also go through fucking time. Who the fuck knows that? Speaking, guys, got getting on track though, because the aliens are pretty cool. There was a big variety there. So I don't see how anyone could complain that there wasn't, like, good design choice, because there was a big variety of different aliens. There was a fucking floating big flea, sentient, with a fucking Green Lantern ring. It was pretty dope to see all these different species interconnect and see all these different designs that go into it. Like I said, the ring stuff was pretty cool. When he would, speaking of the ring stuff, whatever happened to the 3 people that beat him up? Like, he punched them with a Green Lantern thing, and one dude fell into a brick wall, and the brick wall crumbled. They're dead, right? Like, they didn't survive that. It just never shows what happened to them, any comeuppance that he may have had after that, any consequence. No, Hal just punches these 3 people with the Green Lantern thing and gets away with it. But then he uses that move again to fucking punch Parallax into the sun, which is my favorite thing altogether in the world I love about movies, which is continuity. Fucking love that shit. Plus callbacks. Callbacks were fucking amazing. Like, this movie did well. The romance was actually pretty cool too. I was rooting for Cal to get with the girl. You know, it made no sense. Like, she was first really mad, and you could tell that they had a thing already, which I guess was they were going for. But like I said, it was pretty well done, and I was rooting for him. The fucking dad's death scene in the lab, that was brutal as shit. And Waller, that was brutal as shit too. The fucking, like, when the villain was doing shit, it was brutal. He fucking slams his dad in a thing, and his dad's with the guy, then he floats him, puts him in the room, and then I'm like, wait, he just threw him in the room? That's not that bad. He's just gonna get up, right? And he fucking torches him. He burns the shit out of him. It's fucking, like, what the fuck? And he slams Amanda Waller, who, by the way, Amanda Waller is in this. Not the one from the Suicide Squad, just another random black lady. So he fucking burns, he takes her and he throws her against a glass wall and just keeps her there. And then she just groans and he just lets her fucking fall down. And then Hal uses this really cool move and he fucking puts water underneath of her. And I guess the ring also can just pull shit out of thin air without just making it. So the water starts to move and he gets her the fuck out of there. And then he pulls a fucking flamethrower out of his fucking ring and starts burning shit. Oh my god, and during the parallax fight, he launches a fucking gas tanker up at him and uses a fucking AA cannon. That's so fucking cool. That's so awesome. That's so unique and it's cool to think about. Like it wasn't that bad. Okay, I'm gonna think like this. I might show my friend. It's a good bad movie. It's fun to watch. It's funny. It's comedic. I think comedic to laugh at. Story is pretty bad. There's not a lot of things make sense, but Hal, all his character makes sense. And I think Ryan Reynolds did a pretty good job portraying a superhero, and the effects are really fucking cool. And I think they did it pretty well. So my opinion doesn't matter because it's my own, but I don't give a shit. Granted, it wasn't that bad.